So, for the sake of the video, we're doing a from scratch AWS account walkthrough to build a server to do something, or to use other services to do something else. I don't know all of them because that's impossible. There's too many, but I know a lot of them. So, with that said, I can turn on this, and then if no, can I not do that? Never mind.
Are you trying to turn on your camera?
Yeah, but it's attached to the OBS, and I think I have to remove the layer altogether. I can't just hide it.
Wait, do you have your thing going through OBS?
Yeah.
Like, use OBS as your input camera on Discord.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to wait.
Wait. Like my input camera or stream? Like.
Yeah. Yes. Both, but do it for your camera. So just open up your user settings. Go to
Voice and video.
Yeah.
Video settings, test video. Always camera is. How do I? Is no other option other than my webcam. Do I have to like create a webcam?
Fuck. What are you using as a fucking whatchamacallit?
A host OS?
Yeah.
Linux. Ubuntu essentially. Yeah.
Wait, Ubuntu?
Pretty much. It's Pop OS. It's just an Ubuntu clone.
Oh fuck yeah! OBS has some issues with virtual cameras on Linux.
Oh, good. Well, I can stream my stream preview instead of my screen, and then you guys can kind of see everything. How about that? Let me do that.
I was about to say, if you want to get it to properly work, you have to get use the pop shop, or do you just use the fucking terminal?
I use the terminal, yeah, for everything.
Okay. Yeah, at some point in time, you'll have to look up what it is specifically for Debian-based distros. There should be an OBS module for virtual cameras.
Oh, really? Okay, let's find it. OBS virtual camera Ubuntu. Ubuntu's just a lot easier to search when I'm doing this kind of stuff. Virtual cam on Linux from OBS project. Is there a way? Virtual is not built into Linux. You can get the functionality with the plugin here. Cool.
Yeah.
Can confirm it works for Arch. Okay, then it's definitely going to work for me.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So let's read it.
Fucking Arch is.
Load the bot module. So I have to do a different module first too? Or is this...
I don't know off the top of my head. I run Arch, so I couldn't get to fucking work and didn't give enough of a shit, so...
I run Manjaro. Basically Arch.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Well, let's see what this does on my machine. It's just an LS.
Swap into Artix for a different init system.
So that doesn't exist. Is this a file? I'm not like enumerating my own system type. It's file. Oh.
Have any of you used oh fuck, what was it? Void before?
What?
Void Linux?
No, I've actually never heard of it.
Yeah.
Most like standard distros I'm familiar with and I've used.
Void is a really kind of bare bones distro with, I forget what fucking init system it has. It's not run it. What's the other one? I know. The two main things about it is it's got a different init system, and its package manager only has like fucking binaries of everything, which is really weird.
Well, let's just try it, huh? So this is a good lesson in Git and being organized. So whenever I check out anything, my memory being is what it is, I make a directory of the username, and anything that I ever clone from them in the future will live in there. So everything lives in dev. I'm going to make dir this, and then we can go into his catfish, and then we'll clone this. I'm typoing all over the place. Cool. So we're going to go into here, and let's inspect it and look at the README at the same time. If anyone uses VS Code, this is built in, I think. It's pretty slick.
Oh, you're not sharing your screen anymore, just so you know.
Oh, I thought I was. Yeah, I guess I'm trying to figure this thing out, so.
Hey, while he's doing that, this one popped into my head. Have you seen Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
All right, you see this now? You should actually see my OBS like as full screen as I could make it, or close. I can do that, yeah.
There we go.
So this is a substitute, but I'd at least like to try it. I've learned something new. All right, so I don't have Qt, I don't think. So we'll get that. I guess we could have done these together, but thanks for explaining them together. Oh, that's good. Depends on, but is going to be installed. All right, so I'll have to dig through and resolve these version mismatches later. But thanks for sharing that. I will bookmark it.
I gotta be honest, I half-assedly remember it from like half a year ago.
Yeah, no, I dig it. I'm gonna.
Oh,
There's even a video here. Cool. Okay.
That was a year and a half ago. Goddamn.
All good. All right. So this is good enough, right? You guys see this? It's kind of like the normal stream, but you get my actual full thing.
Right, yeah.
I wanted
Looks
there to
like
be
we're about
video.
to go live on Twitch.
I wanted there to be video too. Well, it's weird because I detached all the controls, so now I have like all these separate windows. It's kind of cool.
How many screens you got?
4. I posted a picture in general earlier of my setup. I'll post it in the voice chat again so it doesn't get lost immediately.
I have 3.
I've got 2, and one of them's like an old fucking, like, thick TV. Not like tube style, but it's, I don't know, good fucking, oh, scheisse.
Yeah. So I have a bunch of laptops too, but this is my daily driver, and that's why it's hard for me to leave.
I have 1 laptop. Well, actually 2, but I don't use it.
Anyway, all right. So this is working, right? And we've signed up. We're getting started. Woohoo! Welcome. Thank you. Yay. I wonder what resources there are. We don't need them. Actually, might be good for the video, huh? Get started. So does anybody not know what AWS is before we go into this?
Oh, fuck.
Right?
Wait, are you actively recording something?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, why?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, dude, we're doing I'm just signed up for a brand new AWS account, and we're gonna build a server. I don't even know what it's gonna do yet. We're gonna do something cool. What? And I'm in the middle of. Oh, did that go through finally? No.
Gonna recommend good television shows.
Oh, it's all just partial. Okay, complete. Yeah, addition. Cool. All right. So I will do this stuff later.
Sadly, I always have to go as soon as the fun gets started.
Oh no, you're taking off? That's too bad.
Yeah, I gotta wake up early. I gotta work. But it's been real, as always, so I will hopefully catch y'all in here tomorrow. If not, next time. Trying to stay active, like I said, that's my goal. So
Right
whenever I see
on.
you guys in here, I just drop in and say hi, even if I'm not in front of my computer. So
I dig it, man. Yeah,
GG's.
it's been a lot of fun. Thanks
Yeah,
for
good luck,
hanging out.
guys. GG's.
35 playlists. Yeah, oh cool. I should try that out. Yeah, I got to figure out the whole DMCA whatever for before. Um,
Fuck. I despise the old EMCA system. Yeah. I decided to take a music theory class this year, and we had to sit through a fucking whole quarter of. Dear fucking Christ.
oh, that's funny. All right. So, any ideas, or you want me just to kind of wing it? I can just go, and you guys can just ask stuff as I go. Oh, how about? Oh, you guys want to know something that's really cool? We'll set up mail in a box. Anybody heard of this? So, mail in a box is an open source. What? Mail from Google? Mail. Oh, in a box. Come on. DuckDuckGo. Slacking a little bit. Mail in a box is just a collection of all these open source solutions to run really cool, like essential services on a server that are not trivial. So that's stuff that I've all done from scratch, and it's hard to do it one by one. And they put it all into one automated script, which is like shit I love to do. It's automate everything. And it does a DNS server, a web server, and a mail server. So this is your own mail server. Now you're not just giving a domain to Google to host your mail. It's your SMTP server to connect to. Does that make sense? Like when you're plugging into the whatever. And this is super easy. So this will be really fun to do because I actually just did it on another account just to see because I was like, how easy is this? So there's their GitHub, but I want the setup guide. It has to be a specific Ubuntu version. I don't remember. Is it 18? Yeah. You must choose. I'm pretty sure I tried it with 20 and it was like, no. All right. So the main am I not signed in? Yes, I am missing the wrong thing here. All right. We'll read these. You can access all services here and save a list. And go here for settings. And to start out, if we're going to go with AWS from scratch, I just created an account. I am root, right? I am the root of this account. The user management is called IAM, stands for Identity Access Management. And this is where you do all of your users and roles and policies and stuff. And make it work. But the first thing I ever do is make account root, lock it down, never use that account again. Right? Like everything becomes a sub user. And so going to the IAM dashboard as a new account and you can explore it and they have pretty good blatant like, hey, do something about this. Right? So you can see me here. I actually have a physical key for my MFAs. Yeah. So I plug that guy in, and then we say add MFA, and Firefox thinks about it. All right, activate. Security key. Virtual device is the easiest with like an Authy app or whatever, right? And so always do this on every server account you ever make on any provider. If they give an MFA option, do it, right? Of some kind. You should have MFA already on as much stuff as you can. So I tap my button and it just says, thank you. Now this is your MFA key. it's a lot easier to or exploit. Not exploit's not the right word, but abuse that. Like I can spoof, or maybe even intercept that message, right? Like conceptually, like the technology is not impossible.
Right.
All right. So the other thing that we want to do is generate access keys, and you don't want to ever lose them. And so this is going to happen off screen. And what I'm going to do is build or add the credentials to my local credentials file. I just don't want to have that recorded, huh? So, okay. Go and add. Oh, that's not it. All right, and as a reference, you guys still see this? So just an example, AWS credentials, you'll have, you can actually run, if you download the AWS command line, it's pretty easy to install. AWS configure, like the first time, will ask you for your key and stuff, and it'll do it for you, which is nice if you're new. But it'll put it in this credentials file as AWS access key ID, and this is like ABC 1, 2, 3. And this is AWS secret access key, and this is a bit more of a complicated string. Typically, they have backslashes sometimes, and that's your default account, right? And so my folder of this looks like. Let me get one more in here. My folder looks like this, and I can name them. So I just made a new one like this, right, with new credentials, and now I have a new profile by name because I have to talk to so many on a daily basis. I just have to switch which profile I'm talking to, and it's really easy to do with this credentials file. But this is what it looks like. You just provide those two things that I just generated. So now I can close and bring this here, and you'll see this is the access ID I used, but I'll never see that secret again. And the only way to get it, or you have to deactivate and generate a new one. You'll never get to see that. So we can verify that it works if I do AWS S3, which is their static file, not hosting, but object storage. It's the shortest command, S3 ls profile F11 snipe. It should just be empty because it's a brand new account. Yeah, but it worked. So, yay. My other one has a shitload of buckets, and I don't know what's in there. All right. Actually, I'm going to make a quick note about that. What time is it?
I believe in about an hour.
All right. No, I'm just hyper obsessive. I'm going to edit out that one little clip of those. It is 22:58. Okay. So we just generated our keys. Now we have access. The first thing to do on any real account would be to set up full groups and users and access. But for the sake of this, we'll just we'll just stay with this for now. We've at least done this, and we'll do that later. So what we want, EC2, if anyone is not familiar, is Elastic Compute Cloud. So C2 is two C's. Compute Cloud. So this is the new dashboard. Oh wow, it's so much fancier than the one I remember. All right, so look at this. Launch instance. I'm still on a call, right? Okay. I'm just...
Sorry, I keep muting myself.
No, it's fine. I just, like, I go for a while and I don't hear anything. I'm like, am I... Because the other day I crashed with OBS and everything else I had running. So I got to be careful about not opening too many other things. So this will be THM AWS walkthrough. We're going to do an Ubuntu. That's just easiest. Micros, free tier. We don't have a key pair. So the way that VPS works when you go to a cloud is typically you predefine, you generate another, like an SSH key on their system, and they give you the credentials and sync like a one-time download, never get them again. And that is like the root login when it boots up, right? So you can own it. So I need to create that. Let's go ahead and use the newest format, and we'll call this 8WS F11 Snipe. Also, everything is separated by regions. So knowing, like, if I create this here and I go to a different region, this key does not exist in that region. So, and I also prefer hyphens instead of underscores. And I acronym that so people get confused. It's US1, US East 1. So now I know that's the key for me, my AWS and US East 1. Because I also have a shitload of SSH keys I have to coordinate. All right. So cool. We're going to use that one.
Sure.
What's that?
I'm sure there's a lot of them that you have to coordinate.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if I could count the number of files in here recursively. There's probably hundreds. Okay, so move the downloaded AWS file here and then chmod it, right? We all know it has to be limited permissions to be used as a key. Now, does anybody know about custom SSH config? I can show them that on the way too.
Yeah.
Let's do HTTP. Wait. Oh yeah, Yeah, we want both. Let's do 443 and 80 by default. So we're gonna make a web server because that's easy, and 8 gigs will be fine. And we can do default on everything else. So ship it, right? This is how. Let's see what happens with the most vanilla that there is. Oh, it's already done. All right. So in your SSH directory, here I can zoom in a little bit. In your SSH directory, you either have this or you can create it. Config file, very simple syntax. It's easy to Google. That's somewhat secret, actually. So I'll just do another, sorry, I gotta plan this out better. So in like an SSH config file, you give it a host and you can say like my server, and then it's got a host name, which is, if you have a domain hooked up, it can be that, or it's your IP, and you have user, so, you know, username, or whatever your SSH username is, and you can say identity file, and this would be SSH. That's the default for most things. We're doing the ED2519 format now. But that's what it looks like. So it's really nice because you can save this, and then you literally just say SSH my server, and it knows to do this, the rest of this for you. Yeah. And so I alias almost all of mine. I also have other scripting tools that do it for me because most of my SSHing is not to a server. It's through a bastion tunneling to a hidden, like, yeah. It's, you can't get into my network unless you go through the one door that I open. You know what I mean? Like, so, and people don't know how to do that as comfortably as I do. So I wrote a script that automates it for valid. Like, it's a chain SSH, like through several machines to get where you want to go.
Spartan method, man.
It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. So we're gonna add our new one. We're gonna have host AWS Snipe, and it'll be host name. I need to find our new instance. And the other thing that I'm going to do that's really easy and it's immediate or almost immediate is an elastic IP. So every time you start an instance, by default, it'll have a private and a public IP. So it's like very similar to your public IP at home and like your TryHackMe IP on the VPN. Right. So this is publicly accessible. If I go here, we can technically hit port 80, but there's nothing listening yet. It's a server that's not doing anything. And this is the private address. It's only available inside this network that I created. But this could change. If I shut this down and reboot it, this might be different. So what you want to do is you go to Elastic IPs, allocate a new one, and just, yeah, go. And now we have an IP that'll never change, and we can associate that with our instance. And let's keep it, yeah, I'll probably reuse it, so.
So wait, what's the difference between static IP and elastic?
It's just their term for a static IP.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just their branded term. Yeah, it's AWS. Everything is elastic. Yeah, they invented the whole like auto scale cloud idea. Like everything cloud before this was you pay them to host it for you, but you don't pay them to magically do everything for you. Like Amazon invented that. Like like the scale at which that they sell everything, just like hourly, like they literally invented this market, and people have been playing catch up ever since. And the other services are great. Like I still do DigitalOcean, Linode. I have Google Cloud Platform and Azure, but I don't do Microsoft very much. Sorry, Microsoft.
Well, every huge company is switching to AWS.
Well, I mean, yeah. When I worked at Autodesk, I was helping them switch from physical rack servers to AWS. Identity file. I almost spelled it wrong. So now we should be able to say SSH AWS snipe. Just because of my config. Yep, there it is. Yes. And I have a key. Get me in. Woohoo! I'm Ubuntu. So we just logged in into a brand new Ubuntu server. So the first thing that I typically do, it looks like it's pretty up to date. It says only one update is outstanding. But you can do sudo apt update. And because I logged in with a key and no password, the default user is sudo passwordless, which is kind of nice. But you have to be very careful of your keys in that sense, right? Your keys are like, they are not only you, but they are also sudo if you can do that. So.
Right. So with Kali Linux, that there's like a default key that's like set. It's like the same for every original download. So you have to go change your SSH key.
Well, yeah, you should always do your own SSH key. You should never use a predefined one. This is too zoomed in. Even that, yeah, that's probably good enough. It's too big. So we got a brand new machine, and I'm gonna at least configure my favorite tools, which is my ZSH and SCM Breeze. If I don't have these, I don't know how to use a terminal because I've just gotten so used to them. That's a lie. I can't do it without thinking. This is mindless for me if I set it up the way I'm used to it, you know. So this is, if no one knows, this is a wrapper for Z Shell that makes everything really fancy. That's what I use here. This is my custom one. And you can get, so my sudo one looks like that. So I know I'm root. But that's all of ZSH, or my ZSH. So what language do we want? We're going to do an nginx web server because Apache is I haven't used it as recently as nginx, and I can do this probably without thinking. nginx web server. We can also install Let's Encrypt cert because I have domains that we could hook up to it. But what technology, if we want to have like a server, I would prefer TypeScript or JavaScript because that's more familiar. But we could do Ruby on Rails. We could do PHP. We could do what other ones? We could do Django, Python. That's a framework I haven't played with in a while.
It's up to you. You know my vote, but
Nobody. All right, let's use my favorite new Node API framework that I just learned is TypeScript. It's called Fastify, and it's a really lightweight like fork of Express. If you've ever heard of Express for Node web server, and it's extremely lightweight. It's a self-documenting API. Like, you write the validation for your API endpoints, and if you by following their validation like schema, it automates the documentation for those endpoints. So I build my APIs with this, and I don't have to write documentation. I just have to build good endpoints, and the docs come out of that. So let's OAuth into here with our GitHub. Oh no, that's not OAuth. This is literally a link to their GitHub. Okay.
this is probably a really low level question. But like, what are endpoints?
An endpoint is just a URL. An endpoint is a URL of an API that you hit to do or get something. Get user one is get first user, or put user one is update the first user, or post user is create a new user, right? Like those are all endpoints.
It's
Sorry.
like the same when I'm in packets, and it's like the source and destination IPs.
Sorry, what?
So would it be like the source and destination IP? It's like different endpoints.
No, you're thinking too much about it. Endpoint is literally like docs latest is an endpoint.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the URL. Endpoint is just a terminology for like a URL of an API.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. Ask the questions. That's what we're doing. I'm so ADD. I was going to do mailinabox, but this can go and just run, right? But yeah, while this is running, because it's going to take a while, we'll look at Fastify, and we can build like a local version to play with, and then we can deploy it once the mail server is done. All right. Where's the command? It's a curl install command. I know it's a one-liner. Fuck you. Where is it? Curl. Yeah, there it is. So this is just curl their setup into bash. So this is like, a technique that we use, right? For pulling in linpies or other stuff, but it's also a very valid install script command. If you trust the source. So what I'm going to do first, before I do this, I'm going to get my shell set up. And before I can do this, actually, I need some prerequisites. So we're going to do sudo apt install, my favorites, apt install SL, if anybody knows what that is, Figlet, which is fun, Vim, which I need, and zshell, which we need. And then when we're done, we can say echo, fuck yeah, and pipe that through Figlet and wall here. And then I'll say, no, that's the wrong one, SSH, snipe.
So you can grab multiple just by space.
Oh yeah. Like every Docker file that I define has like a one section of 50 of those probably. Like every Docker file is like apt-get all this shit because I need to, build the rest of the server. But it's all one command. Apt-get install everything, and with a -y to automate it, which is what I want to do here. Glad we thought of that.
I always will do like individually SL, then Figlet, then Vim. Then
No, yeah, you can just do a space. So this is get SL, Figlet, Vim, and zshell. Then it's going to echo fuck yeah through Figlet and wall. If anybody knows what that is, this guy's hanging out over here on the same server. And he's going to get a little message. Did it work? Is telling me it's not as stable. Go to apt-get. But did you see, fuck yeah, it came over here. Wall is a broadcast to like anybody who's logged in. Oh yeah, it's already done. Okay. So now we're gonna do this. But that I always just used to do that to troll people that were like on my server that didn't really know much. I'd be like, "Hello, how are you?" And they're like, "What the fuck?"
I do that in King of the Hills.
Yeah, and then my favorite command I found on accident years ago on a server by mistyping ls is this command. It's SL, man.
Oh,
You're
yeah,
gonna-
there's a bunch of
It's a it's a fucking train. It's so good. That will be in at least one of my rooms. It might be just like my tagline in all of them, honestly. All right, we're gonna do Z shell. We're gonna change our shell, and I always like to do random shells. And if you source your profile, it'll just reload it. And if, by doing this, it's going to give us a random one every time until we find a cool one. These all look the same. Oh, sometimes it breaks. Fuck. So if I do the same thing here. Oh, but I'm not in Z shell, am I? Okay, so this one worked. Source. That's kind of a cool one. I want the username and the host name in it. Oh, I like that one. What do you think of that one? That's kind of cool. I just like to go find a random one. Oh, I didn't say what name it was. Son of a bitch. It tells you what name it is, and I cleared it. Anybody see that? Suppose I can look at the video, huh? Can I reload it?
Yeah, there should be a delay on your stream.
It's not. I'm not streaming. I'm just recording.
Okay.
I'm streaming to you guys and I'm recording because I'm gonna like do a tiny bit of editing tests on it. Echo ZSH profile. I bet it's set. No. Shit. Is there? I like this one. Well, maybe let's do more random ones. Current. No, it's not theme. It's theme. It's not profile. It's theme. Oh, random. Duh. Is there a way? Prompt L? That's not a thing. Oh, random theme. Cool. Thank you. I know he had a way to do it. There it is. So all we do is now put that in instead of random. Why am I sucking so bad at this right now? There we go. So now every time, if I go here and do another SSH, that will be my shell moving forward. And this one was kind of fucked, so we'll kill this whole thing. And we'll start fresh. Where the fuck did that go? Oh, it's on the other screen. Restart required. Okay, we'll do that later. Now it's time for mail in a box. Oh, actually, we need one more thing that I forgot. Apt install. Does anybody know what build essential includes? I suppose it'll tell you in a second. And it's gone. Oh. It's just all the standard build tools like make and GCC and stuff you need to like build, you know, binaries from make files and whatnot. Cool. So we figured that out. This one. I always get lost on this page. Where's your install, dude? Easy. So SCM Breeze. And that's not the copy command. That's this one. Cool. So if you tail your ZSHRC, you can actually see it added a line to it. So you need to do the same thing, source. And while I'm at it, oh, one thing, cat vimrc. I want my vim settings. And I'm going to also do the same thing for root while I'm here. Because it looks so boring. Or we can make it extra boring with one of my favorite themes. So change our theme. we're gonna do the same thing we did here. Simple is literally just either green or red when you're root, and it's just your path. So it's almost as simple as this, but it's even simpler. Almost as and more. Logic is hard. What am I doing? Source.
Classes on logic or anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was part of everything I did, right? Everything computer science is based on logic, and I've always loved math. But I guess there's a lot more I could learn. I've always wanted to learn more about artificial intelligence. Honestly, I want to like write my own neural network. So now this is what root looks like. So it's literally just red and the path that you're in. It's super clean. So now every time I elevate, it'll be like really subtle, but I know I'm root. Anyway, all right, we're here. This is the level of detail that you guys are having fun with, right? It's not like...
Yeah.
All right. When I talk this much to most people, like not people in this Discord, they're just like, dude, stop talking. That's why it's so much fucking fun for me, because people that don't know this or don't care cannot stand this level of detail in this shit.
And see, in my mind, it's hard to find people like you.
What in the fuck? Didn't we do...
Like, and I just find it more valuable.
Didn't I pick 18? Did I really not pick 18? Okay, this will be our web server. So let's, this will not be our, we'll do another separate one. Let's do another instance. This would be mail in, what is the acronym? Mail in box. I think they do it like that. Ubuntu, nope, what am I doing? Amazon, fuck off. Ubuntu. I need 18. That is what I missed. Okay, so we can use the same key just to make it easy. This one will also have the same ports open, be a web server as well. And we'll do another Elastic IP. And eventually, I think the Elastic IPs aren't in the free tier, but they're only like $1 a month or something. They're more expensive if you don't use them, because their IPv4 addresses are in short supply right now, actually. So any unallocated one is going to cost you more than an allocated one. So if you're not using it, you should release it. Or if you need it to keep it, put it on, attach it to something. Allocate. I mean, we've already run out. Like we're just we're shuffling, we're reusing them.
Okay.
Like every new server you start is a hand-me-down IP that someone else had recently or like 10 years ago, and so like every time I build a mail-in-the-box server, I have to go and check its reputation, because sometimes I'll do it right away and be like, nope, this IP's already been flagged like years ago from an abuser, and it got reused. Mostly the smaller ones like DigitalOcean and Linode, where the default IP comes out of a similar pool. But anyway, yeah, we've already hit the max. We're shuffling the ones we have. So everyone, we got to catch up to IPv6 soon. And I honestly don't know much about it. I need to learn it. IPv6 is, yeah. So what we want to do, this one, you can see this one's already associated. So we'll pick our new one. And we're going to associate it. We're going to, not allocate. We're going to pick the unassociated actions, associate to the new one. Yeah. Cool. So, oh, I suppose we could do that from the platform, or it's going to want to do our DNS records anyway, huh? Has anybody actually done any web hosting of their own or configured? Yeah? What kind?
Just basic like WordPress websites, that kind of stuff. Not like hosting. I just use like GoDaddy as like the host. Just
I've configured like VPS servers and shit.
Yeah. What did you use for like your web service, like Apache or nginx, or did you go with something else? Hello.
No, I said VPS. I didn't have a web server.
Oh, okay. What was it for?
You know, just random shit.
Nice.
I just like to have one on hand just in case.
Oh yeah, I have way too many. I should audit mine. Honestly, I'm probably paying
I still
for
have
ones I
it.
don't need.
Yeah.
What am I looking for? I wanted to double check. We're using. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is the new one that we did, and I'm gonna add it to my host SSH config. Cool. So hopefully that instance will be ready soon because we want to leave that running for a while. All right. Yep. It's good. We're copy. Oh wait, we don't need to because I made my config. So SSH, we're going to call it box snipe, this one. And let's go ahead and do everything at once. Sudo apt update. There's no prompt there. And sudo apt upgrade y and sudo apt install build essential sl vim. What else did I install? ZSH. I think that was it. And we can chain all of it, huh? And that. And, oh wait, no. Yeah. It'll prompt us, but we can respond to the prompt. Oh. Yeah, so this is a really simple bash automation. It's just putting ands in between everything. And do you know the difference between and semicolon? You know when you do like the make FIFO one-liner bash, it's the semicolon separating the commands, not and. Do you know why? Take a guess.
I have no idea.
Anybody? Bueller? We're going to do this again too because it's fun. No, that's too much. We'll just see if this goes well. This is kind of a lot. Am I getting messages? Oh, it's completed. Nice. Okay.
When you're bash scripting, you're kind of just doing that, essentially.
Yeah, that's all you're doing. You're right. Like, what you would, you're pre-defining what you would do in a terminal. Like every bash script I make is just me imagining an entire session of going in and doing all the stuff that I want to do in bash, you know? So that's an example of like a really basic way to do stuff. But the main difference is the double ampersand will only run if the previous one succeeds. So it's chaining them, but they're dependent on each other. Whereas the semicolon is like run this and then fuck it, I don't care. Run the next one, fuck it, I don't know, right?
It's like a circuit, right?
Yeah. So like the semicolon there's no association between them. They're all isolated, independent, right? It's just like every one of them is going to go off and they're all individual. They don't matter. If one breaks, it won't affect something else. But if you do the double ampersand and one breaks, nothing after that will execute. So it's a safer way to chain stuff if you're doing real scripting, not like hacks scripting.
Right.
Right? Like hack scripting, like you actually kind of want it to die quietly. Like it's done that way on purpose. All right. So let's open a couple SSHs and let's have one more like home base. This one I'll keep not SSH. Almost. So it's doing everything for me. In the meantime, I can install Node.js on Ubuntu and nginx for the web server side of things. I always forget how to do this, and it's this. Yay. So we just curled and downloaded their Node 16 install script. And we just need to sudo run that. Sudo. And I actually don't think it's executable, so we can cat temp node 2 sudo e bash. And now it did our update for us, and we just have to do this. Because the default node on Ubuntu is like 7. And I remember when 6 came out. 6 was a big deal. That was when I first got into Lambda, because they supported Node 6. And now they're on 16. And it's hard to keep up, man. And a good thing to do is also to upgrade your NPM, which is your package manager for this. Oh, of course, it's sudo only. What's that? I don't use Windows. That's the secret.
Just Linux.
Invalid group Charlie. Oh, I don't have a real user on here. I'm Ubuntu. Lol. Sorry, what?
So in Linux, like how do you keep up with your updates? Do you have something just cron running that constantly says like
I still can't do that.
apt update?
Sorry, I'm trying to fix. I don't want to sudo everything in here. So this is me fixing the permissions of the global node modules. So I should be able to install, rename. Oh, user bin. Oh my god, it's gonna do everything at the. Yeah, okay, fuck. I might as well. Woohoo! YOLO. Sorry, what were you saying?
So how do you keep up with all of your updates like on Linux, like with all the different programs?
They're all through apt-get. So I just do apt upgrade. Like I do it at least once a week. I'm compulsive. I reboot my computer twice a day, at least.
In like cron or do you
No. I don't want. You don't want to automate that. At least I don't. I mean, you could try it, but it's not usually safe enough to automate. Like I run into trouble like every other week or every month. You know, like one minor thing. Or like earlier, I was trying to install that one thing and there was a version mismatch. Right? You don't want that to get stuck in a cron.
Okay.
So I literally I do this like every time I log in. And you can see I have Spotify, my password manager, Microsoft for other shit, Docker, right? Like I install everything through the apt-get list system so that now I can say apt list upgradable. And it tells me, okay, I can upgrade Chrome and some of this other shit. And the pop desktop I'm intentionally holding back on. So if I do sudo apt upgrade, this is what I just run this. And the more often you run it, the less time it'll take and the less potential issues you'll have, right? The more frequently you do it. Someone's asking, my typing is so... So, just as a context, I was asked a question, what was sudo bang bang? Sudo double exclamation point. Double exclamation point is a bash shorthand for whatever I just did before. So whenever you do something that says no sudo, you don't have to type it again. You just have to say sudo bang bang. And it goes, okay, let me sudo retry that. It's brilliant. Bang bang, gotta have it. Okay. So I just did my upgrade, and then I'll do another update just to double check. And then we can say apt list. I got 2 that are remaining. So I have firmware and my OS are pending. Oh shit, I still have that reminder. I gotta finish that. But that's what I do. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I customize certain things, but oh, cool. I thought that was an error. I just saw that on my phone, and I thought it was request was denied. I was like, what the fuck? No, we're good. Okay. So what box was that on? And we can edit the host name too. So this one is the original one. This is the new one. Yeah. So this will be our mail or our web server. So let's go ahead and edit vim etc host name. And instead of this, let's just call it, what do we call this web server? Someone come up with something creative. Brain farting. I'm still locked. Wait, no, I'm locked. Or how about just locked? I like that. That's a good name. Just locked. Alright, the other thing to edit when you edit a host is your etc host. You should have a reference to it in here. So now, if I SSH back into here, host name. Did I miss a step? Hostname CTL? What? I didn't know that was a new thing. Yeah, hostname. Okay.
I use that all the time.
There we go. So now it'll show it there, right? Kind of fun. So we're going to do apt install. We did node, so we want nginx. And maybe a database. We could do Mongo or MySQL. SQL is probably better for you guys to learn SQL injection, right? So let's do sudo apt install MySQL. Okay, sudo apt search. I always forget it. MySQL server. It's not. Yeah, default MySQL server. Okay. I guess we could try 8. Is the default not 8? Default is probably 8. Let's see. Oh, I had a slash on there. I was like, what? You got me. All right. Well, we're gonna have to resume this. This will be the first pass, and we'll get the mail server done, and we'll get the basics of this web server. But we can revisit it and actually start coding something next time. Yeah. So we did, or we can tail, which is just the end of a file. Our thing. Oh wait, no. Actually, it would be better to head it, because I would look at the top. And we don't have enough. You can expand that and give me 15 lines. All right, cool. So that is head and tail, right? Give me the top or the bottom of a file, and they both accept an n argument for the number of lines. I think the default is 10. I don't know how many that is, but I asked for 15 and it was more. So. Mongo. I never saw Mongo. There isn't Mongo injection, really. I haven't ever heard of it. It'd be worth looking into. I'm sure there's ways to unsanitize and exploit that, but anyone using Mongo is using an ORM layer. No one is going to write manual Mongo, and that's the issue with SQL. It's people writing manual queries and putting variables in there without sanitizing them. So anybody using a framework, if a framework has that kind of a vulnerability, then it shouldn't be a framework. No. It has nothing to do with SQL. It has to do with the developers that built the app that uses SQL. Yeah. It's a lot easier, but there's so many good frameworks out there nowadays that if you're going to do a legitimate web app, like for a business, unless you're me, there's no reason to build anything from scratch, right? I love doing it, and people are like, "Why reinvent the wheel?" I was like, "I like to. I want to see how it works. Maybe I'll make a better fucking wheel." But that's just me. For most people, it should be use an established framework and follow the patterns. Ruby on Rails, Laravel for PHP, Django for Python, Fastify for Node.js. Like there's an Express for Node.js. Well, that's a different thing. But Mongoose is what he just talked about, which is an ORM for Mongo. So it's a layer of like an abstraction where you just work with conceptual models and it translates everything to the database for you. And that's really common. It's very rare to do raw database interaction nowadays on a framework built application. Did that make sense? I kind of went in a circle there.
Yeah, but that's too specific question. I was gonna say like that was like a programming database, but I guess that's as simple as like an import.
Well, interact with the database is literally, well, yeah, we can show you in a second too. I haven't configured a MySQL database from scratch in a while. So while we finally got, all right, we got this guy ready. Let's do our host name here too. Actually, which domain do we want to put this under? f11snipe.cloud. Suppose we could do that. So this is, and if you haven't seen this, this is a site that is shut down sadly, but it's a tool that I built. Dismiss all those. Like I built this entire platform. Okay. So this is my custom domain. I actually can manage custom DNS inside of this. So it's going to have me install stuff. What do we want to call it? We could call it like mail, or how about like THM? This would be like my THM example. All right. All right. They like to use box. Let's just use box. That's what the default that mailinabox does. So this will be hostname box sudo bang bang. See this? Boom. Love it. Sudo su. We don't have to worry about that anymore. And do we still have those tabs open? We do. Might as well. I don't need the other one. I just want to. I'm a little OCD, not diagnosed, but if I can make things be the same, might as well. Right? That is a typo. All right, now these profiles are identical, but we need to vim etc hosts. We want to add box dot. Nope. Okay, try again. Undo. Box.f11snipe.cloud. There we go. So we're at box. Our full host name is that. Cool. So now we have a host name. We don't have anything connected to it yet because we're actually going to do a reverse DNS setup. Mailinabox does its own DNS, which is kind of cool. So from here, now we set this up. And Mailinabox just goes. We'll check in on it every once in a while. Yeah, any questions or things you guys want to ask? I got to kind of take a breather for a second.
Yeah, I'm about to
Yeah?
work. So,
Anyway, all right. This is going to be some pretty good content, recording all this stuff. Dolphin says controversial territory frameworks. All right, so this is going to be, I can set up my .cloud because I have no, I don't have either of them actually, .com or .cloud set up to anything. So me at f11snipe.cloud. Yeah. And that's our host name. It's just the default, and I wanted to just hit enter on that stuff. Make it easy. All right. So yeah, this is gonna do a bunch of shit, and we can do a couple things over here in the meantime. Oh, and I want to reference something else, and this is gonna start where? Okay, good. Oops. And I
You
need
went to school for
SSH.
computer science, right?
Yeah, and I told this story briefly earlier. I started in aerospace, and I got a C in a class, and they told me aerospace C's don't count. And I spent the whole time programming a game on this calculator. So I was like, fuck you, I'm switching to computer science. And I loved it. Like, it was so much fun. And there was a lot of people that switched to computer science and did like the first year or two with me, and they hated it. They were just like, oh, I want a really good job. I'm like, why would you do this to yourself if you think that... why would you do this to yourself if you hate it? You're like, I want to get good money. I'm like, yeah, but then you're just going to have like a shitty day of work every day for the rest of your life?
Yeah.
Like,
It doesn't
really? It's not worth... Like, I live for this shit. Right?
I know this chick that like she's like in school for cybersecurity, but she has like no interest in it. And I was like, hey, like I know like very light information on it, and I was like, hey, like you want to see like some cool stuff that can happen? And I was literally just gonna go through like a try hack me room. She's just like, no, I just want to make good money. And I'm just like, what? Like, if
I
this
hate people
isn't
like
fun
that.
for you,
It's...
They'll
never
never
gonna like
succeed in this field, like with that.
yeah.
well, I used to stay late, like... Well, and the funny thing is like the first couple like semesters of CS are not that bad. It's a lot like the intros here, and like the early like basic, you know, how to use the command line, how to use like a Python function, you know, and you get through some stuff, but the first couple of years are pretty easy.
Right.
Yay! I'm glad I'm getting messaged by people that are enjoying the stream, so it's good stuff. What was I saying? My brain farts sometimes. Just totally spaced. Literally forgot where we are. What are we talking about?
Shit. My bad. That's my fault.
No, it's not a fault of anybody. This is just how my brain works. I short out sometimes. I have no clue what we were just doing or talking about. Really?
Talking
Anybody?
about people who are only in the field.
Yeah, thank you. All right, my man. I was gonna say.
If you were talking about like what we were doing.
I know, no. I was like the conversation is where I just lost where it was talking because I'm just kind of doing this on the side, but we have our nginx server running, so I should be able to say. There's our nginx page.
Yeah, I feel like it would be next to impossible to even get a job if you're not like really interested in this field.
Right? I mean, I can't imagine that. All right. What is happening? Why can't... Yeah, that was not hard.
I don't think that's true, by the way. A lot of jobs in IT are a way out for people in, for example, poorer countries to get out of
That's
the
true.
situation,
Yeah,
and they
we're
use it as a tool.
yeah, we're too bubbled out here. Thanks for helping to clarify. That's
Yeah, and
definitely a good
usually
way to get
they're
out.
motivated by their shitty situations, so they will make it work, and they can be pretty good at their jobs too. Even though
Yeah.
it might not be their passion.
Well, and it's the determination behind it that's the big thing, right? And whether or not that's ignited by your excitement or by necessity, which is not always a good scenario, but it's the determination of I can do this, I can figure this out, or I can break this and then fix it. And it's the people that just don't care, that like, oh, I tried it, didn't work, I give up, or I don't want to try this, you know. Anyway, it's not as much fun as the channel we have going on here.
You can only get so far not being actually like to like IT, because You're not gonna get as far as someone really loves to like wants to learn everything about it. Like you're not gonna
Well,
get.
Well, that depends on what you mean by far, right? Because I know a bunch of programmers who've been in the field for a long time, and they don't have a passion for programming. They do it because they wanted to move out of their countries, for example. They wanted opportunities, and they are senior chief engineers. They're very good at their job, but they don't code at all outside of work. Like they don't want to code. They don't care about coding, but still they have successful jobs, right? So I think
That's
when
also
you talk
luck, though.
about
It's
how
not
to get
always.
far, yeah, it kind of depends on what you mean by getting far. You know,
Yeah,
if
but
you can get out of your shitty situation, I'd say that you're pretty successful.
I live in a third world country called Brazil. It's a poor country, and I have too many friends here that are living by developing and in the security area without a diploma because the practice prevails under any piece of paper. That is what it's matter in the in the market. It's your experience, how you are ready to the demand what the market demands for you. So it's important to know how to practice, how to really act in the market. So it's not a paper that gonna say what you are and what you do. It's you that's gonna define this, not a paper. So I have many friends here living and really with really good jobs without any diploma and any other piece of paper saying who they are. They are really
Yeah.
good. They are really doing great job to the market today. That's
So,
it.
some of the smartest people and like my favorite coworkers were like, yeah, high school dropouts or people that don't have any diplomas or any certifications of any kind, but they're just brilliant. And they started digging into computers so much, it's like, yes, I want to work with you. I don't care about your credentials. Like you have the mindset and the determination and the excitement to,
yeah,
get
but
in and.
that's different than not actually like having a passion.
All
well,
right,
What
so I
I'll
just
be
I just
one.
created an A record on the domain for this, so we're testing it out. You guys can keep talking. I'm just gonna.
It's like Oda even graduated from this.
Hey.
Oh man.
But when you, I think like self starters or people that are like self studied, like they're better like at their craft because of this
We made
reason.
a site.
Um, like they learn by failure. Like they literally learn by like failing over and over again, and then they get that anxiety about failing, and it's like, oh, like I don't want to make those same mistakes, so I'm gonna do everything I can not to make them. And then like we'll compare it to like somebody who like I don't know, like thinks they know everything and they just make a lot of mistakes because they think they know what they're doing. But I don't know.
I think that's true, but I also think that sometimes in some scenarios, going through formal education can kind of skip
Oh, it depends.
past some of that,
Yeah,
head
yeah.
banging into a wall.
No, I completely agree. I'm never gonna
They
like
want it
argue that
better.
like one's better. Yeah.
Exactly.
Those aren't links, are they?
I honestly
Which
do
one do I
believe that
edit?
going to school is better for you, like in your pathway. But still, self study is necessary too.
Yeah, I mean, like spooks are Ninisu.
Oh, it's the .d, isn't it? Where's the mouse?
Finishing university, and he's just like followed rabbit holes and learned what he wants to do,
There we go.
and he's doing fucking great. you know, but
Yeah.
then there's others who they go through school and they do fucking great. So it just brings out different values in people.
Right. Yeah, I got a friend who has like a PhD in I don't know what it is, but it's something computer related,
Me too.
and and the guy is just like, oh my gosh, it's insane. He's just on another level. He's like F11 snipe, but yeah. But I think like when you
I can
have
do it this
both
way,
of
right?
those
Yeah.
things, like you reach like this like crazy high like god tier. I don't not god tier, but like you know what I mean. Like the elite skill level.
And the people that learn by themselves only depends on these guys like F11 that are able to teach good, you know.
That's true too. Yeah.
So
And
that's
we
very
have so much
important.
good.
We have a lot of guys learning on the internet, becoming great persons, great developers, great guys on the security, just because of other guys are able to teach freely on the internet. That's amazing. That's really good. I really I really thanks for F11. Thank you so much, man, for being here, teaching new stuff to us. Really thanks, man.
Yeah, man, I'm really loving it, and everything that I'm putting together is just going to be more and more cool stuff I can share on my YouTube. If anyone hasn't gone to the YouTube, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers so I can get my F11 Snipe URL. They don't let you get your own URL until you get to 100 apparently. All right, so I'm looking at MySQL, and right now we can connect as root with no password. So we can actually look. There's credentials in here, right? What is it called? So describe will show you what a table looks like. All right, so we're looking at host, user, and we got all their privileges, and then cipher. So yeah, it's not actually saved in here because they're smarter than that nowadays. But we can do alter user root at localhost, and everything in MySQL is a pair, right? It's a user at a host, so that only root from this server can access this. If you want to allow a global connection, like a public server, this would be a percent sign. It's like the wildcard in SQL, percent. But most of the time, you want to lock it down. Like this guy is allowed to access it from his VPN, right? The stricter, that's a good security measure from like the blue team side, is minimum required permission sets. Like you
Right.
start with 0 and add things until you have what you need, and as soon as you do the Schmod 777, you're gonna get hacked. Like you say fuck it and give it to everybody. Like that's how you're gonna
Yeah.
identified
The lucky
by.
man.
So let's go to our password generators and make a new one. And this will be try hack me AWS MySQL root username password. Let's make it a little bit less crazy than that, because we're going to need to copy it. Save. All right, identified by something random. So I'm also looking at a cheat sheet because I don't remember absolutely everything off the top of my head. Okay, so now if I exit, exit. All right, MySQL should now. Oh, I have to. Probably. There might be another configuration step I need to do. I honestly skipped the first two things that they did. I haven't set one up from scratch in a while. Yeah, all right. So I do need to follow the steps that I ignored. What was it? Service. Oh, I did a restart, not a stop. Well, I guess that was just me testing. So verbatim from what these guys are doing is systemctl instead of service. And then their MySQL root. Oh, I missed something. Aha. So it's inactive, dead, and then I can do that. Yeah, okay. Now we start it again. Okay, now we're the root user. It back into MySQL. This is like refresh the permissions. Use is, to use the database, and you can say show databases, plural, to see what is available. And we're going to try that alter one more time. Same thing. Okay. And then quit. And then kill all you MySQL. That's what they tell me to do here. Okay. It's a little violent. Huh? Ha 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 ha. No? I'm just making jokes to myself. Alright. So now if we do MySQL. Really? Well, I guess I need to learn how to do this. Oh, you know what I should show you guys? This is a really fancy recursive grep tool. It's a lot easier to use in grep. I just never remember the package name. Let's put that on the box server too. Oh, it's done. Box is done. Sweet. So from inside here, I can look for password. Debian. That's not what I want. MySQL Debian. So it has a password. So it's probably just me as root user. What if I did it? Yeah, okay. It's giving me a whitelisted because I'm running just as per root. So we could do log into MySQL root here. And now this is the password, which I can copy again. Uh-oh. You can also paste it in password here. It's not good because it's in your bash history. Interesting. So it should be root at localhost. And it'll remember commands. Where was my alter? I guess I probably need to do that again. Okay, this is the last try. We'll try it verbatim what they gave us. Oh, god damn it, I'll keep doing that. The new password. Flush. Privileges. Let's try fresh login. MySQL, user root, password, the-new- password. Interesting. I keep doing that backwards. Well, it's running, and we can get there with root, so we'll get there eventually, but just for the sake of the lesson, the next thing I wanted to show is the built-in Ubuntu firewall now. I used to have to do all my own manual firewall stuff back in the day, but now this firewall is actually built in, is pretty helpful. So I'm looking at something I can reference up here.
I'm kind of interested in like how you used to manually do
I still have some DigitalOcean images that I built like 10 years ago from scratch. I'm trying to remember what I used. I can find a list of all the old things I used to use. But it was just like this. But I was such a nerd that I would write all my own routing tables. And people that are in like banking or healthcare, like you have to write, every single connection of every computer to every port has to be explicitly allowed. You cannot. It's the same principle, right? Minimum required. But they take it to the absolute extreme. Like usually you're more focused about a firewall incoming. But in those kind of scenarios, it's everything, incoming and outgoing. So every time your computer attempts to talk to anything on any port, you have to say, is this intentional? And like allow this or not. But for the default, we don't have any rules right now. So I can explicitly say UFW. And this is kind of pointless because we're on Amazon and we're behind a security group that we made when we launched. So this is like a pre-firewall. Nothing other than these ports can even get to this machine at all. And we're allowing from everywhere because we want it to be public. But I could, for instance, I could get rid of SSH and make this my IP. Snipe. And now I can confirm, like, even if I'm never going to lose a key, hopefully, but no one can SSH other than me. I suppose that's a bit of a dox, isn't it? Hide that. I'm going to add another note about that one. Oops. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of layers, and nowadays, like, if you do it well, it's pretty easy. But you can do something basic like allow SSH, allow HTTP. I don't think S is a thing. Oh, it is. UFW status. So now I can see that I have those configured, but oh wait, I only wanted to do SSH from my house, right? So let me do UFW deny SSH. Yeah, and so now that'll be changed. So now if I try to SSH, I can't even get in because I disabled it globally, right? So what I need to do is UFW allow. Fuck, can I remember this? Proto TCP. Fuck. Did I not do that? I thought I did it on that one. There's like a syntax for this. See if I can remember. Allow proto T from. Oh, I have it locally. My FW command is my firewall shortcut, and I have local SSH only for my local network. So I can SSH into my machine from my laptop easily. But everything else I have is blocked because I don't want anybody to start hacking me now that I'm being louder. So if I look through my history for UFW allow. Was it a sudo? Did I just do a raw sudo allow? Correct. UFW. There it is. Oh, I was right. Oh, no, it's proto, then port. Okay, that was not quite right. Allow proto TCP from, and then my IP, which, how do I do that without, okay, fuck it, I'll just edit in both places. You guys can see my IP. If you want to ping me or hack me, good luck. Okay, I'm getting lost now. Which one was this? It's this one. No, wait, that's the IP of the box. I'm an idiot. I changed the security rule, right? Yeah. So we want that. And 32, you guys have learned a little bit about networking and bit masks. Yeah, well, we can dive into that later. It's literally bit mask, and I love numbers and bits. So every one of these can be 0 to 255, right? That's your possibility, and that literally represents the number of bits allocated to that. So you either have none or all of them. So if you have nothing, it's 0, and if you have all of them, it's 255, which is one less than 256, and that's how everything rolls over in powers of 2. in binary. I'll do a lesson on binary eventually. But 32 means everything is set. So it's an exact match. I want a 1 bit on my mask on every bit. So I want to match every single number you give me. Every single bit from this is matched, so it's an exact match. And that's why we see /16 for like a really wide network that's like basically cut in half, or a /24 is the most common. That's like what your home network typically is. So my home network is a 192.24. And then it does the DHP lease from a pool of addresses on this final, range of addresses. Right? So anyway, that's a crash course. We'll get into that later. But yeah, that's good to know. All right. I don't even remember that I know this stuff until I start talking about it. I'm like, oh yeah. What was the syntax? From port. Yeah, from port 22. So UFW reload, UFW status, and I like to do an alias. In here I do alias, FW is UFW status. So that way I could just, like, firewall is like a shortcut for me. Like, what's my firewall right now? So there we go. We've opened up web server ports for all, and it automatically does IPv6 too. That's cool. So yeah, we got our web server ready, and we got our 22. So now I should be able to do this again. Bueller, please. Did I fuck it up? Uh-oh. Well, all right. That was a fun demo. Let me just say UFW allow SSH, just so I don't accidentally lock myself out entirely. What's the UFW delete? I don't know how to delete. I'll have to look at that later. All right. But we're good. We got our web server, and I don't know if you guys saw, I posted a link to the nginx page that we set up. f11snipe.cloud. So we can open that up. var www nginx. Nope, HTML. There it is. Pwned by Snipe, or I gotta give my full name, huh? Is that not where it's hosted from? So we're gonna go to sites available. There's probably just one file in here. Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, I did the title, not the header. It's already been... I was looking for it here. It was the title. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. It's been fun with you guys. I'm enjoying it. So I can do this. Let's get rid of the message. And then we'll do some shameless plug here. I don't even know my own channel link. Where is it? Anyway, I'll find it later. We'll do a href to my main site. At least I have something on here. Hey! And this is also where I'm going to start posting things here So I just did my Ollie write-up, which is literally just a paste of my notes. It's kind of incoherent. But my Bedrock one is very thorough because it's the official write-up to try to get that approved. So it's a spoiler if you wanted to actually do that room. But it should be a good write-up. And then I have a placeholder for tools. If anybody knows this show, it's fucking hilarious. And then tutorials also are coming soon. So I'm going to start curating my own list on this site as well, because this is a good entry point. So, we got that done, that done. We're done with our mail server. Cool. Let's wrap that up, and I am going to go back over to the mail in a box server. So, cool. Web server's good. And now we're here. So, this is going to be my new account, root account, basically on this system. So I'm going to do a real let me copy it. I'm so bad at typoing. Copy whenever you can. That looks like a good password. Again. Cool. So now we'll let the mail the box go. I'm actually going to, well, I think it's going to take a while to finish. I have to take another bathroom break, so. Oh, wow. Nope. It's already done. Never mind. I'll do this later. Okay, so copy. And it's a self-signed cert because it just did its own installation. So we're going to go ahead and we can view it if we want. It's my certificate. And it's just generic because I generated it for myself. Like as part of their automated thing, right? It's just so that we can get to our HTTPS channel so that nobody can sniff my login. Because man in the middle over HTTP is dirt simple. I can do a fucking thing on that too. It's really fun. If you're on any unencrypted HTTP, my favorite thing to do, man in the middle, is turn all your pictures upside down. So you're browsing the internet and every picture you get just comes in upside down. And you don't do anything else. You just leave it like that for a while and let them go crazy. So man in the middle is not HTTP related. HTTP is just is vulnerable to it because it's not encrypted. So anything that's not encrypted is vulnerable to man in the middle. Man in the middle is just the concept, right? So man in the middle from a basic network perspective is there's the whole concept of the SYN ACK, from the TCP layer. There's like a whole nother kind of language that your computers speak with the routers. And so you do what's called ARP poisoning, and you basically broadcast out to anyone on the router. You're already on the network, right? You're on a network, but you're on the network as a user, not the router. But you tell everybody via the router, hey, I'm a new router. Because like a hotel or like a big place, it's all one network, but they have access points all over. So they're designed to intelligently decide which one to connect to. This is all kind of a half-assed answer that I'm pulling out of my ass. But it's that, that whole protocol of how it talks and tries to... And you jump in the middle there and you go say, hey, I'm the closest, best one to talk to. And then it starts to route through you and you're the router now. Right. So that's the easiest way to man in the middle. And if it's HTTP or unencrypted, oh yeah, here we go. Thank you. I'm getting share help. This is a really good, right? TLS protocol. And then they're, okay. It's not completely impervious, right? There's still ways to gain some things, even on an encrypted connection through man in the middle. But it's not as easy. And God, 10 years ago, before Let's Encrypt, it was scary easy. Woohoo! Look at us, we're in.
I was like way overthinking it. I wasn't really thinking about so much as sitting on the network.
So I'll paste some of these links. I'll share that too. Oh my god. When I do my OBS and my, like, everything else in the stream, this poor computer struggles a little bit. Fastify. Mail in a box. Are you guys still there? Okay, because my Discord is frozen. Okay, there's going. No, it's because I have 10 things running up here. I have OBS running here, and I'm sharing on here. And this computer is like 10 years old, and I keep barely upgrading it. All right, so here's our checklist. So we don't have our DNS. We can't do our DNS until we get our domain. Wait, no, I don't have a cert. I want you to generate it for me. I forgot. What's the name server setup? It's supposed to tell me. Custom DNS. External DNS? No, it's custom DNS. Right? Honestly, I'm trying to remember the process I did. It's all repeatable though, so if I just go and find the other one I did, it's going to be the exact same, thankfully. Just can't remember off the top of my head. Is it Namecheap, I think? Yeah, oh my god. All right. So let's go ahead and just go through the status list first, because we need to reboot anyway. It says 53 is running. What is my... I always forget this command. That's not what I want. ls of... Yeah. Oh yeah, so it's running. They're just not... probably needs to just be new version check. I'll do that. I'm trying to remember all the shit I did before. Let me go to my actual other one. Oh yeah, I have MFA. It's so cool. Like, I just decided the other day I was bored and I was like, it's been a long time since I set up a mail server. And the sad thing is like every big, especially Gmail, still blocks all of my custom ones, even though I check every box for reliability and security and everything. I'm just unknown. It's a brand new server. It never existed before. It's always going to go to spam when I send from these addresses, but I can receive on them. The only thing I can do at this point is time. Like it needs to be established. I need to send more shit to more people, and they need to say this is not spam. Sorry, I'm talking. What was that? Oh, I'm supposed to do. Yeah, and the whole domain that it doesn't exist yet. It's a product that I'm still making up. Some of you might have seen the preview. It's my little backdoor command center or command and control, like interpreter style thing. Wasn't I show that to some of you the other day?
Right, and I was just like curious of like I was just saying like about
6.
how the email system works.
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. Like, Google is so strict, but the problem is people are so clueless and it's so easy to do phishing scams that Google has to be aggressive. or otherwise people are going to get taken advantage of even more than they already do. Right. So let me get my actual one in my Chrome browser here. So socks.io, I think I shut that. Yeah, the site is up. Yeah, this is me testing my little blog. You can tell it looks just like my F11 Snipe one. I copied it from this because I liked it. I just make a bunch of joke posts. So this needs a reboot. Okay, so I can reboot my box from here, but you can see I've literally checked off everything. Like this is their entire list, and it has every security setting. Anyway, there's a lot of other things that it's not on any blacklist. So I did all the checklists. There's probably more I can do, but the anti-spam nowadays is so intricate. Like you have to have some sort of established existence. I could probably do an appeal to Google directly. If this is a real business, I'd say, hey, it's a new domain, please don't. But if it was a real business, I'd probably host it through Google anyway, because they just like make everything. Something went wrong. Oh, because I'm restarting. It's gone now. It'll be back soon. So let's do the same thing here. Oh no. So one thing we can do to wait for it, we can say watch. If anyone knows, that will just run whatever you want on a default 2-second interval. So you can put inside of here curl K, because it's a self-signed cert. So that means ignore a self-signed cert. And all I want to know is it responding? So IL is just give me the headers of the response. And so this will do every 2 seconds, maybe. Is my terminal fucked? There's something with my aliases, I think, that's fucking up my terminal. Yeah. I also want an S on here. Frozen? Shit. Well, let's see if we can get back in here. Hey, yeah, no, that's, I had way too, as soon as I added Chrome to the mix, I added Chrome and brought that window down because it had my login, then everything just started coming to a crawl. Chrome is like the camel that broke the back or whatever. That's funny. Okay, so we should be back up by now. Yep. Cool. So let me get back to my passwords. Anyway, we're just about done, and then I'm going to wrap up, but I'll hang out and chat a bit. I just need to turn... It's fun doing the recording, but it makes me feel like I'm on stage, Like, woo! It's exhausting. But it's fun. No. I want I want the back and forth. I feel bad for interrupting because I have so much to say, but everyone's so excited about what I have to say, which makes me want to say more. It's a slippery slope. Did I not save this? Oh, it was my email, right? Yeah. Me. That's a cool email, huh? So, yeah, well, and the terminology is the part that I'm the worst at, but I can help, and I know how to find it. I know enough about it. I can find the terminology. I just don't know it off the top of my head. So I did not read any of this. Reverse DNS. Yeah, that's what I'm missing. Where did I register that? Okay, well, I'll do all this later. I think this is a whole another chapter to harden the box and get it all configured properly. Oh, but one thing we can do before we're done. So yeah, I'll get this all finished and I'll get an actual working custom email for myself, which will be cool. I shared this link, by the way, if anyone was curious. But the other link, we have THM F11 Snipe Cloud, but we don't have HTTPS, right? We have a listener, or we have, like, we're ready for it, but we don't actually have it set up. So let's do that before we leave. Is do a Let's Encrypt example for that one, and I want to use LED. Oh, thank you. I had to reload. Yeah, I had to kill Discord entirely. Discord is a hog. All right. Oh wait, I was doing the other screen, right, with my. So you can see my whole like OBS stream and me on top of that still. Are you kidding me? Come on, DuckDuckGo. Right? So this is a really cool tool that helps to like orchestrate all of the Let's Encrypt stuff, but just through Bash. It's just a big Bash toolkit. You know, these are the guys. These are my people, the guys that write all these like scripts and stuff. I want to contribute more and more to this. Oh, and also, if anybody's interested, this is my old organization that I published a shitload of open source stuff to. So anything I thought was cool enough that I would want to share it eventually, I put it there. I have a bunch of ancient shit on my old accounts, but there's a bunch of tons of NPM packages that I published. Most of them are out of date. Okay, so we're going to do a Let's Encrypt. I want to keep this open, actually, because we're going to go back here. And so, is it there by default? Etsy nginx sites available. So we just have a default, and we're just listening. So this is like what a virtual host entry could look like. We could make our server go somewhere else. Let's do that. How about? And we can actually just do a copy. Honestly, I'm gonna Google something and do this. Oh, you know what? I did that on a different one, didn't I? Nginx, HTTPS, config. Probably the same thing. So the main difference is we're on a different port. We have a keyword SSL here, and you have to provide additional values for you know what you're using for your certificate, your key, and your supported protocols, which you could look into a little bit more. That's another slippery slope subject. I'm getting tired. So this is the block that I wanted. So basically what we can do is we can leave default the way it is, and we can let me go find a simple example of an nginx where I guess I'll just copy default. So this will be how many lines are in this file? 91. So I want to delete 79 lines. Oops, too many lines. Undo. Let's delete 78 from here. Nope, still too many. Delete 70. That'll work. All right. And yeah, also being lazy. A cool shorthand from Vim, you can do like a search replace. So find lines starting with hash, replace with nothing. And ask me globally, and I have to say yes to every one of them just to demonstrate. I fucked it up. There it is. All right. So this is what a vhost looks like, and we're going to add our name that we attached. And we're going to go to a custom folder here. That doesn't exist yet, but we'll make it. F11 snipe. Gotta spell it right though. And we'll leave all the defaults. That's easy enough. And then Apache and nginx both do a very similar pattern. Not always. CentOS, I think, is slightly different. But sites available and sites enabled. So it's going to, by default, look in sites enabled. But all the sites enabled is a symlink to what's in available. So that's an established pattern that they set up for you. You don't have to do it. I could make a file right in here if I wanted to, and it would work, right? But I made it in here so that I can go into sites enabled and do a symlink. So we'll follow the same pattern. nginx sites available HTTP. We want to make a link to that here. And then that same ls will show now I added that, and we do service nginx. And now we're going to be talking to a different directory. What? That's it. That's the entire site. So if I come back here, that's now where we're going to be routed. But if we go back to the IP by itself, this is why like these web servers are so cool, like with virtual hosts, because it's one web server, right? But you can host as many websites as you want, really. It's one port. These are both on port 80, right? They're both talking to nginx. nginx is the smart one in the behind the scenes saying, oh, this is this host, send him here. This is this host, send him here. Use this cert, do this thing. So now we've got two front-facing websites on that server. Let's keep them open, actually. What am I doing next? We're going to do our SSL, right? So let's go to root home, and we'll install Dehydrated. Actually, I'm going to move Dehydrated into Etsy. I think that's a good place for it. Etsy, Dehydrated. So this is, yeah, it's pretty easy actually. Like it'll just it'll like walk you through it. Honestly, I say that as I'm like remembering that I don't remember. Oh. SSH. Yeah. Okay. What in the fuck? Oh my god, do I have a local redirect for that? I have an entry in my host file to spoof something for testing. So I just SSH to myself. And it was tripping me out. And now I get a warning. So I just SSH'd to this address, which was aliased to this, and I didn't see it. And so I accepted my own fingerprint, and then I removed it, and now it says, hey, careful. This is not the same server you just talked to. So usually you should, be pretty concerned with this. But so the original key should work. So now this should be, yeah. And then history, what am I looking for? Dehydrated. Really? No usage? Never mind. I guess I didn't do them on those servers. I thought I had command history. All right. It's not that hard. I can figure it out. Dehydrated. We were going to want a cron style -c will like automate everything. Accept terms automatically. What else do we need? Where are the domains? I can't read right now. There's one of these is oh, here, -d, duh. What was it? THM F11 snipe.cloud, right? Oh, but we do need our well-known directory for this to work out of the box, don't we? Has anybody done anything with SSL certificates before?
It's like Herb Suite. I don't know. I can't remember. So like I used to try hacking like 6 months ago. I just started again. So like.
Oh, I found it. This is all my dehydrated bullshit I was doing on that other server. I knew I did it. So we're going to want to, where was the last thing I did? Dehydrated, well-known. Yeah, this is this folder structure that it looks for. So basically you have this well-known Acme challenge directory, and it'll automatically put like a key in there, and that's what it uses to verify your ownership and validate it, and it's almost instant because it's HTTP. It's just putting a file there, right? It's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and do that ahead of time because we need that done first. So make dir -p will make anything that doesn't already exist, if anybody didn't know that. So I can make all these even though dehydrated doesn't even exist. Okay, and then what does my config file look like? I'm curious. Let's just see if we can. All right. So I have it configured for the test because I'm using it for bullshit certs on my other one. But let's do a real cert this time. Okay. A well-known is not going to change. We'll keep the key size. And then the rest of it, they need a contact email. Oh, you know what? It doesn't exist yet, but I'm going to give them the new one. I can change it if I need to. Cool, so we just made our config file and we created our well-known directory. Which ironically is not where it needs to be now that I'm realizing it. Did I have to do a link there? Yeah. Oh. So the whole thing is it's going to make a request to my website. Sorry? Hello? You guys still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
So this is where we're hosting our site, right? So the whole point is it's going to look at this well-known Acme challenge to like place a random file. So what I want to do is do another symlink here for that full path. So whatever dehydrated puts in here, actually, this needs to exist first, huh?
What is the handling?
Is a symbolic link. So by doing this, var www I say I want this to actually also exist here. It's just, I don't know if there's other. Yeah, so Acme challenge here. So now if I LSL, you can see that this exists, but it's actually just pointing there. So whenever Let's Encrypt writes its like verification files here, it'll work for any of my domains as long as they have this pointed there for this system, at least.
So this may be a really stupid question.
Uh,
Is that similar how a DLL would work?
No, LL is literally an alias for this. LL is LSAL. It like literally is the same thing.
Yeah.
Or no, it's LSL. Sorry. LAL? I don't know. There might be a shortcut, but LL, sometimes it's an A, but it depends on the system you're on. That's just that's a generic default alias. It's probably in my... Yep, there it is. So this is all like system level bash profile, like defaults. And it's just really common. It's not a system thing. It's just a bash configuration thing. All right. So now we are going to go to etc dehydrated, and we're ready to run dehydrated, except the terms in cron mode for thm snipe.cloud with our new config file. Responding to challenge, the moment of truth. Challenge is invalid. So I didn't do something right. I didn't configure my well-known directory. I missed a big step. Okay, hold on. I don't remember the syntax for that. It's the full path, yeah. I always forget. Take two. And then something I do to watch this is I can go into my server, and I should have access to read this. Oh wait, no, it's actually, I wanted to go into var dehydrated well-known acme, and then this is a good example of watch again. I can watch, and this is actually kind of cool. So when I run this, you can see it in real time. It'll flash, there's our verification file, and it's gone. Done. And now I have a certificate. Isn't that amazing? So now inside of certs, we have our domain that was successful, and there's a lot of stuff in here. It's the whole. It's kind of like what you found on my ABC server, right? We have the signing request, and there's a chain of signing requests and a chain of authorities who sign them to prove that it's legit. But the combination of our full chain and our private key proves everything, including all the people in the chain. But what we really need, the bare minimum, is cert and private key. So this is where our keys live. Let's go back into nginx. And we have our sites available. Let's copy HTTP to HTTPS and Google that. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do 443 SSL on the listen here. Oh yeah. I haven't done much IPv6. I gotta learn. That's a good excuse for me. Okay. So our server will have, come on. Why can't I paste? There it is. Oh, that's gross. Whoa. Your mic just went nuts. Just so you know. Kind of. Am I breaking it? It sounds better now. Yeah, I think it was just connecting or something, but it was like a bunch of static.
Yeah, can you hear me, right?
Yeah, it's good now. I just saw it. I just saw that your name flashed. I don't know if it was actually that. So, oh yeah. What's that? Oh yeah. All good. So here's our path. where our certs live. So now we're gonna go full chain.pem for our certificate and provide everything and the chain of people who authorized us, and then priv key.pem goes here, and the rest of it stays the same. We're going to host the same folder and the same thing, and then what we can do is, how do I nginx HTTP redirect to HTTPS? I do it all behind, like, everything I do now is like Dockerized, containerized behind load balancers, and it's not quite one-to-one anymore. But it's super easy. Duh. I should have known that. So we can omit the rest of this, and that alone now means this site is purely HTTPS. That says don't serve anything, don't attempt to do anything, just always, 301 is permanent, always just take whatever they're looking for, but put it on HTTPS, right? That's the most wide way to do that. And now, if everything's working, service, nginx I think we might need to restart for a whole new one. Oh, you know what I didn't do? What part did I miss? Remember my whole explanation before? So what's missing in here? Right now we're going to get a redirect that's going to do nothing. It's going to take us there and hang, because we never actually enabled the new one. Remember how we did this? Oh, wait. Oh, it was not var www, lns etc https, and now service nginx restart. All right, and we can do a quick sanity check because curl by default will verify a cert, right? And do thm f11 snipe.cloud, and that means it's working. Boom. Pretty cool, huh? So now here's a valid cert.
How this happens, like when you're not like just using like some like website that does all this for you.
Yeah, and I'm the one building that website. And I want to make them better. All the ones out there suck, or not all of them, but a lot of them suck. I want to make really good ones.
Well, here's the thing, like yours reminds me of like how WordPress was like a long time ago. Like it was just simply used. Like I liked using WordPress.
Well, I'm gonna rebuild that under F11 Snipe brand. I'm gonna make like snipe.sites, and it'll be that product, but it won't be tied to anything. It's not the same thing. You know, it can't be the same thing, but it's going to be a similar idea of like helping people host stuff really easily with just a well-defined infrastructure.
Yeah, but it just like reminds me of like how like the old like WordPress was, and that's not saying that your like version is old. It's just like it used to be simple before like it design changes.
Honestly, WordPress has always made me cringe a little bit, but I know what you're saying. I mean, that's like when I go to like I got to Reddit and I learned that I could do this, and it looks like shit, but this to me is so familiar.
It's just so much better.
And I don't have it on here. I have it on Chrome. Reddit Enhancement Suite, where it scrolls forever, which is what they do now, but that was like a plugin that someone added and it was super cool. And it's this. Anyway, I haven't done Reddit very often, and so now I joined as F11 Snipe today, so I can have one everywhere. Anyway, that was our crash course. So now we've turned our HTTP link into HTTPS. And next time we can talk about SEO data and stuff that can make it show in the chat, because it's blank right now. Right? We could at least do... I'm forgetting where everything is. Oh, it's literally nothing. That's why. So we're going to do some raw HTML here. Doc type HTML. HTML. What is going on with my... Oh, that would do it. Oh, it's driving me nuts when it's not consistent. Oops. All right, let's try this. Type HTML. Yeah, I like concise tabbing because I like to. Anyway, THM, AWS, nginx. Or I'm just gonna say AWS, nginx, HTTPS, THM at the end. Title. I suppose my name should be in here. We go with all lowercase for some reason. But this is the, shit. I don't even remember off the top of my head, but every site has it now, so we can just go anywhere. Of course, I don't want to go to meta description. Yeah, you see that? So let's copy DuckDuckGo as just a troll. All right, just a description. This is where you put CSS or other things you might want. Oh, and I totally forgot a whole thing here. This is like, I was telling you guys earlier, this is where I started in the basement on a Word doc, learning how to do HTML by hand. It feels very reminiscent. I was like, I could change a color? Like, fuck yeah. What's a server? What's a database? I just couldn't get enough of it. So now, oh, of course, Discord's going to have that cached now, though, so it won't refresh, will it? But it's going to have a description in it, so if we can try it. Yep, there it is. If everyone's looking in the voice chat, you can see it now has our little description, you know, because it knows that's the metadata for it. Anyway, that's the web crash course by Snipe.
I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining. That was a blast. That was a lot longer than I intended, but it was good.
But it's cool so you can like configure like the boxes that like potentially be testing and like I know that it's your website, but like
But yeah, but you're right. Like a lot of the steps that I take at the beginning of what I did here is what I would do with any raw, like new Ubuntu server, you know. And I usually do a one-liner like that, like upgrade, install, do this, configure this, and then like echo something stupid because it's like I'm done. Like that's kind of my initial command. Oh, anyway, that was a lot of fun. So,
That's awesome. Thank you.
yeah, thanks
To
for
go get
joining.
dinner.
Cool. Yeah, well, I know that you've been helping to, you know, coordinate the study stuff, so I would love to help as much as I can in my free time like this.
Yeah, I think you've proven
Oh.
just now that
Woo!
you're capable of doing it.
Okay, good. Yeah, so I have so much that I'm willing to share that people are excited to learn. I'd like to do it as much as I can. But I'm gonna review this video, and I gotta learn how to edit video because all the videos I posted so far have just been raw. So this will be an excuse for me to find a video editing thing and poke around a little bit. I should know how to do that, but I'll post at some point. Am I allowed to post in here? I don't want to get in trouble. like posting self promo type stuff, but it's for Try Hack Me, or it's like for like
Usually-
I don't. I'll
usually you're not. But
yeah.
I
Okay.
think if it's learning material, I think it's alright. I think it's kind of depends on the context, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving it out so that people can learn it. Not, I mean, if I get subscribers, that's great, but that's not the primary focus.
Eleven.
What's up?
I was trying to say that I didn't want to bother the lesson. That's why I said that.
Oh well, I think it was fine. I think it was a good, conversation back and forth. But if anybody has anything that they do want me to edit
No,
out,
it's up
I
to
can.
you decide. I don't care. It's your lesson. You decide. I'm just saying because I don't know if you enjoy, like, if you like people talking in the lesson in your videos. I don't know.
Oh no, I don't have lessons. I only have whatever this was. I had no plan for this. I just showed up and we made it up on the spot. But it's because I can flow with the people in the room. So I needed a back and forth. Otherwise, I mean, I could still do something, but it's more fun. I like it.
Okay.
And I want to answer the questions. Yeah. That was great. Thank you. So I'm going to hang out. Yeah, I'm going to hang out for a little bit longer, but I'm going to be done recording for a bit. So if anyone's still on, I'll see you probably like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I will be here.
All right, cool.
Frag mich nicht, warum ich so viel rauche. Zu viel Arbeit, Dicker, man kann sich ne Pause.